Yo, yo, Tony D back with Faith, Part 3. Legends of the Dark Knight. Great stories in the early on in this series. We have Mike Barr. He writes a good story right here. It's tight, it's together. There's some layers in here. Bart Sears also on the art. Great, bold work. Does the musculature great on Batman. Captures the tension that the Arthur is narrating. It's a great pairing for this. You have multiple characters and themes going on, and we'll get into more of that. But where we left off was Batman has been shot in the back by Ackers, the leader of a group of vigilantes called the Batmen, and a lot of hero worship within this group. And the leader, Ackers, is probably, I would say he has some mental issues because he's taken this to an extreme. You're getting this extreme hero worship that's really fragile. And Batman, we're also being exposed to the loneliness of being a vigilante, the psychological toll that it's taken on him. And it's really threaded together. Also, leaving off with the second issue, Leslie Tompkins has unmasked Batman and realizes it's Bruce Wayne, someone that she helped raise. And she has a lot of confusion with what's going on, the vigilanteism. He's a vigilante. Is he like the Batman? You can't take law into your own hands. All those themes are very strong in this conversation. But she helps Batman get out of this where he can stop the Batman from killing the mobster that they have kidnapped from this hospital ward. And we know Batman's code is no killing no matter what. She helps him, actually aids him. You can see, great, this is what I'm talking about, Sears and his artwork. He really captures the facial expressions of she's doing something against what she really believes, but it's still for the greater good of what's going on as a whole. Helping Batman to help stop a murder is to save the soul of Ackers is the greater good here. This was real powerful too, where this is another layer of what's going on. It's the resilience in the face of pain. Batman, I think he got shot 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. And he refuses anesthetic. It just shows you that Batman is just his resolve and resiliency in his mission. He can't be under. He's got to take care of that and go take care of the other thing immediately. There's no time for that. Tremendous amount of pain. Leslie she confronts Alfred about it, telling him about it, and he tries to play it off, but it ain't working. Oh, this is a very interesting part of the story. I had to do a little bit of research on this, and I'll show you right here, but his dreams now, in the previous issues, he would dream of seeing this figure, this large Batman, and it would tell him what to do, and it was really in charge in his dreams. He's arguing back with it, and he actually shoots at it too, and then now he has it begging, and he brought it down the size. He wakes up, seems terrified of it, but then he's digesting it and thinking about it. And I had to look this up where he's thinking to himself, it's just a dream, but it felt like something more. And he's saying that in his mind, he's thinking, I killed Batman in that dream. I know what the shrinks would make of that. I thought maybe he was just thinking of surface level craziness, but I did a little research and there's a Jungian term, shadow integration. And the hero might embody traits you admire, but you feel disconnected from. And the act of killing could be your psyche's way of integrating those traits, acknowledging that you no longer need to look outside of yourself for strength or purpose. He's becoming stronger, more independent. He is beyond that now. I really believe that's where he's at. That tells me he's pretty smart. He's probably seen enough shrinks to figure that out. They have the mobster here in the room, and this guy had orchestrated a beatdown on actors, which started this whole vigilanteism and the dreams that spurred this on. And he just wants the guy to acknowledge and remember who he is, and he just doesn't. And he keeps thinking that he's better now, and what he's been through, he's proven himself. The neighborhoods are starting to congregate. Not really a riot, but there's enough presence there. They don't want the Batman to be messed with. They're getting the support of the neighborhood, and that just gives them some shielding from Gordon, who he has sworn off vigilanteism altogether. And that means even Batman, because he made the decision, it's all or none. Look at that artwork. That's what I'm talking about, that bold, energetic. There's a lot of tension in that. Even back here, it helps create the tension and the curviness of when artists draw the cape with that wispy curvature. It really adds a noir element, but I think it also ratchets up the tension of the moment. That's good stuff. Underrated. And also, one thing throughout the series, you get these journal entries, and I found it interesting that some of the words were underlined for emphasis. And I kept coming back to the words and looking. There's not much to it, but I think it's done with an intentionality. You could go down the rabbit hole with me, but that's just what I do now. When I'm reviewing stuff, I start seeing things I don't normally see. I have a more critical eye on it. It's good stuff. Oh, and this is also the way Frank Miller did Batman Year One. And I've seen this quite a bit done since then. And I think maybe it's an homage to that, but it's really cool. Batman has snuck into their headquarters. He has to prevent this murder because this is just not the way you do it. And this is great. I love Batman silhouette drawings, and this one's really good. It's half and half, and there's that tension I was talking about, the cave. Love the bold lines. And he sees, you have these altars. You have the Batman with the bat coming out of the chest, and this eating. Batman thinks to himself, if that's what my allies think, what do my enemies think? I believe in his mind, that's a good thing. He is still, you got to remember, he just had 3 bullets pulled out of him. And there's that resiliency in the face of pain. And just, he's all by himself. He's alone. One of them gets the drop on him. And he actually hides Batman because he knows, and look at this shot. That is just great use of negative space. That's something to behold. This book is really underrated. And I think the artwork, it's the best in this issue. But yeah, this character realizes that Actors is losing it, especially with the idea of murder. It's just not what he signed up for. And he helps Batman. Look how big he is, the musculature with them bold lines. That is somebody who could fight through being shot 3 times and completing a mission. They talk about how he's just too far gone. And look at him, he's fanatical. The tension is palpable. It's just a twisted display of justice is what he's putting on. They have him in a cage. It's just not good for that gangster. He's still trying to get him to remember him, and he really doesn't remember. And the facial expressions that the artist Sears is doing with the characters are done really well. They really convey the emotion that the character is feeling. And then Batman finally makes it, and he's known. Look at that crazed look on his face. But he gives Batman a whack and finishes the job. Look at the look on his face. And then these guys are cheering it on. There's a very twisted, perverted sense of justice going on here now. It's unchecked vigilanteism. I guess that's the difference between them and Batman. They really have no code. That's the only thing I can find the difference. Batman actually has a code. These guys don't have a code. Batman, he's got to get away, and he does, fighting through the pain. And Ackers is even smart enough to know that Batman's not leaving. He could, but he'll want to finish this tonight. He just killed someone. And look at the look on his face. He's twisted now. He's without a code. It's just unchecked vigilantism. He's crazed. But he thinks he's right. That's the thing about the writing. Yeah, Batman. This is the layer where Batman is the whole being, just the loneliness of his the psychology of breaking down from being alone in his vigilantism. I think having a code wears on him even more because he just can't quickly take care of something. I just thought of that. Is it easier just to quickly take care of something like what Ackers is doing? It probably wears on you more to have an actual code to abide by. Oh, I love the shadow. And he even mentions that he doesn't have many allies left, but he has one more on his side, and that's darkness. Love it. But they catch him before he can make it dark. He's in a pinch. He has his gas pellets, but they're still getting him down. And you'll find out this is a pretty clever thing that he's doing. Ackers is even, he mentions giving the body of that mobster up and giving up Batman will give them free reign of the city. He's that twisted now, and he literally believes that. Batman shows up, and he throws down a challenge. Let's just settle it, your weapons, and then whatever weapons I have on hand. And there's that facial expression, and he starts shooting. Shoot 6 times, and then Batman lets him have it, puts him out, and then he just tells these guys he doesn't have to take in the group because they haven't, I mean, they assisted, but he's leaving them with an example. I'm taking them in, and the rest of you got 15 minutes to get out. He just gets him. He probably believes that the example that he's putting is better than, I don't know. Oh, great shot. Look at that figure drawing. That's fantastic. I totally admire artwork like that. He even mentions Judas in this line. He couldn't have done a better job of betraying him. But this would be an opportune time for a writer to use this character. Let me know. And then Batman has a conversation with Leslie, and it's a great ending conversation where the way she talks about the wounds is she's seeing what he's been through to bring justice, and it seems to bring some levity to her. She mentions his scars, what you've been through, and it's my work. These are the fortunes of war. That's some heavy writing. And he even talks about, all through the first 2 books and this one, he mentions more than once about being alone. And right here, the only regret is that I'm out there alone. Loneliness is a powerful thing. Even to someone as strong as Batman, and this is perfect. You segue from that line into this, where a kid is reading about Batman. Yeah, it is. He's a Batman, huh? Pretty rough character. He's cool, Dad. You have another person idolizing Batman. More hero worship. Just notice that. But it turns out this kid is in a circus, and he's with the Flying Graysons. I think the code plays a big deal. Faith and identity, resilience in the face of pain, personal responsibility, self-awareness, discipline, having a code to keep yourself in check. All themes in this story. Underrated story. Glad I got a hold of it. You can get this very affordable. Outro. Get it.